It seems the right time to remind you about Yemen's plight. One of the poorest countries in the Arab world, it's been devastated by the war between forces loyal to President Hadi and those allied to the Houthi rebel movement. Thousands of people have been killed and injured, the majority of them in airstrikes by a Saudi-led multinational coalition. And together with a blockade imposed by the coalition, this has triggered a humanitarian disaster, leaving 80% of the population in need of aid. The BBC's Fergal Keane has travelled to Hajjah, close to the Saudi border. This is one of the areas worst affected by the conflict, and as you might expect, his report does contain some distressing images.
This is Ahim, near the Saudi border. All the living have fled. Along roads where death can descend at any time. Past a bombed-out hospital. This is the story of a journey into a people's tragedy that will reveal images of child suffering that are not easy to look at, but without which we cannot comprehend the cost of this war. Judah Jabber is 4 months old. And she has been fighting to survive since the day she was born. 10,000 children have died from preventable diseases. 500,000, like Judah, are severely malnourished. Eliam Nasser, 9 months old, is one of the few who make it to hospital. Half the health facilities no longer function. We have few resources, and that limits the service we can provide, Dr. Noman Hajjab tells me. We hope we'll get support from international aid to help these patients. Child malnutrition has jumped 200% in 2 years. Before the war, Yemen imported 90% of staple food. But the supply chain is broken now. God will punish the bombers, this man says. The bridge was hit just 2 weeks ago. Civilians and food trucks use the same roads as soldiers. In the rural areas, they're farthest from aid, waiting for the world. In this village, medics from Save the Children battle to help. In another, people brought their sick infants to us. The old man and his hungry grandchildren. Asma is 9 months old, sick with liver problems caused by malnutrition. This is her older brother, Khalil. He died of malnutrition 5 months ago. Mother Aisha has no money for medicine. What do you want to happen for this child? What do you need? It was becoming a journey deeper into crisis. 3 million people have been displaced. This is Al-Manjurah Camp. 17,000 people endure the waterless baking plain. Here again we were approached by pleading voices. Khalil Shui brought his malnourished, disabled child to us. You walked up to us with your child to show the child. Why did you come to us?
المأساة اللي في المخيم إلى المنظمات اللي يهمها الأمر وجزاكم الله خير.
This mother called to us. Her severely disabled child is malnourished and getting sicker. He can't talk or move, she says. There's no money to get him to hospital. What the war takes away, nobody can give back. Samir, aged 3.5, was the only survivor of an airstrike that killed his parents and 24 members of his extended family. Uncle Mohammed, who'd already fled, came back to rescue the orphaned boy.
الطفل يسألني بعض الأحيان من أسماء أهم فينهم أحدهم في البلاد أنا أقول له موجود.
ما يتذكرش إيش حصل بالطيران؟
لا الآن لما يسمع الطيران ما نقول له عندي ولا يشتي يطير والله يرقد أديله كرسي هنا صغير هذا الكرسي وأنا جنبه هنا.
Now consider these facts. Coalition bombing and import restrictions devastate the economy. The rebels frequently delay aid getting through because they seek to control distribution. And just half the international funding promised has been delivered.
This is a crisis that we just don't recognise, and it will come back to haunt us because the consequences of our indifference, the consequences of what we're not doing here will play back at us. But at the same time, we're sort of trying to grasp sand because we can't deal with what's going on here because the numbers are so massive, the pressures are so great, and the resources are so little.
It all leads back inevitably to this. To Ibrahim Bolgaith, 21 days old. His twin brother died soon after he was born. He seems impossibly fragile, but fights to live.
There are several causes of this war. A battle between regional powers, fighting between local factions. But there's only one consequence: death and the destruction of people's livelihood. And an image like that of baby Ibrahim, no matter how many wars you've covered, is powerfully shocking and shaming.
Hamdia is 3, with energy only for that most universal of childhood comforts. This is what it means to be forgotten by the world. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Yemen.